Alright, so moving on to the chips in the devices. The iPhone 5 has an A6 processor inside of it, while the iPhone 4S has an A5 processor. So basically it's a faster chip. Apple has said it's up to 2 times faster in some cases than the iPhone 4S. Like 2 times faster launching apps, all that good stuff. Now in the A6 processor there's 2 CPUs, 3 GPUs, and many benchmark tests have found that it dynamically adjusts its clock speed to match what it's trying to do. So there's been reported speeds of 500 megahertz at times when it doesn't need it, and all the way up to 1.5 gigahertz, and that's pretty speedy for an iPhone. Compared to the A5 chip on the iPhone 4S, that only has 2 CPUs and 2 GPUs, and it was set at a clock speed of 800 megahertz, no more, no less, most of the time. Now, the iPhone 5 has 1 gigabyte of RAM, while the 4S has 512 megabytes of RAM, which is twice as much in the new iPhone, which is significant because things will just be a lot speedier, a lot faster in just everyday use, and it'll really pay off when you guys get this in your hand, because it's very fast, very fluid. Alright, we're going to move on to the back camera now. And on the iPhone 5, we've got an 8 megapixel camera with a sapphire lens, which I already talked about. And Apple has said it is supposed to perform much better in low light conditions, and because of the new A6 processor, it takes cameras very, very fast. With the iPhone 4S, there's also an 8 megapixel camera, but it doesn't deal with low light situations as well, and it still takes pictures fast, but not as fast as the new iPhone. Now on the front camera, we've got a 1.2 megapixel camera compared to the only 0.3 megapixel camera on the iPhone 4S. So significant change there. Takes a lot sharper photos. And with the camera on the 5, you can take 720p HD video, while on the 4S you can only take 480p video. So, I mean, that's not really that important, considering the only time you'll really use front-facing camera is for FaceTime, and it's not like you need to see every little detail on someone's face, but it's just nice for convenience. And also, on the iPhone 5, we've got, as far as video goes, we've got 1080p, and that is the same on the 4S. The 4S also has 1080p. They retained the 30 frames per second for the video. They both have tap to focus feature. They both have LED, and the 4S has stabilization features, which Apple implemented on the 4S, and then Apple improved upon it in the iPhone 5. And also with the new iPhone 5, they've added the features to take still photos while filming, and it also has face detection while videoing. Now on to one of the more important things about smartphones, the battery life. Some said the LTE and the bigger screen and the faster processor would definitely be the end of Apple's reign of quality battery life in their devices. But I beg to differ, and Apple does too. So what Apple said would be the battery life on this is, on the iPhone 5 anyways, is 8 hours talk time, 8 hours on data, 3G or LTE, 10 hours on Wi-Fi, and 225 hours on standby. Compared to the iPhone 4S, which has 8 hours of talk time, 6 hours on 3G, no LTE on this one, 9 hours of Wi-Fi, and 200 hours standby. So even though this has a 0.5-inch larger screen, has a much faster processor, and is now running LTE, which is a battery hog on many devices, this still has a longer battery life, and I applaud Apple on that, because that is quite a feat. Alright, now we're going to get into some testing, comparing launch speed and how well each device runs certain apps. So let's find a common app that we have here. Again, these, I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but these devices are both personally used by me. So the 4S has gotten, since October, use from me, and the iPhone 5 has gotten, since September 21st, use from me. So these aren't factory, these are devices with my stuff on it, but I'm going to do my best here to limit the variables. As you can see, I've got both the apps, or both devices free of apps in the background. So now I'm going to go to, let's see, I think I've got, no, I don't have that. Okay, so we're going to upload some Apple apps, which are like iPhoto. Oh, I don't have that either. Okay, we'll do Pages. Pages is quite the app. It's pretty big. So let's see how they compare in launch speed. So I'm going to tap in at the same time. 1, 2, 3. So iPhone 5 was a little faster at the get-go. It's already loaded it, and this one hasn't loaded until now. So it won. Not by much, maybe half a second to a second. So let's try Keynote. 1, 2, 3. Again, the iPhone 5 got a faster start, but this time it looked like the 4S may have won, but it also looks like they tried to load two different things. So this time I'll have this presentation open, and I'm going to close them and have them relaunch it. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the iPhone 5 won. Alright, so let's see which one is faster at loading the presentation. So we'll load, let's see, the Getting Started presentation that came with the app. 1, 2, 3. So looks like the iPhone 5 beat it significantly that time. Alright, we'll try that last presentation. 1, 2, 3. Again, the iPhone 5 won. So significant speed, in my opinion. Let's trying to find something that's not personal here. We can try. Let's do the camera app. That's a good one. So I'm going to show some camera comparisons later of actual photos taken from the two, but for now I'm just going to show you the speed at which they take pictures, and also I'm going to show you the launch speed. Here we go. Let's see which one wins. 1, 2, 3. So the iPhone 5 barely. That's significantly faster. So, I mean, I probably just took 50 or 60 pictures. Yeah, I just took a ton compared to, let's see how many I got on here. Only those, so I mean, it's significantly faster. Alright. So let's see, what can we load next? Let's just load some stock apps that come with the iPhone. Let's do reminders. 1, hopefully nothing personal comes up here. 1, 2, 3. It's not quite fair, but the launch looked like it happened maybe a little faster than the iPhone 5. Let's try something really easy like the calculator. 1, 2, 3. Looks like iPhone 5 again barely beat it. Let's try settings. All right, 1, 2, 3. So iPhone 5 wins again. Let's see. We should try a game. So we've got some games on here, I think. Alright, we've got Jetpack, it looks like. And so let's try this. I'm going to launch both of them at the same time. And just to say something, the Jetpack is now optimized for the iPhone 5, so the app is actually larger and utilizes the screen size. So it'll be interesting to see, even though the game is bigger in size if the iPhone 5 will still load it faster than the 4S will with a smaller game size. So let's see how this works. All right, 1, 2, 3. Both at the same time. Looks like the iPhone 5 is loading up everything, and it's already done with the fully optimized app. And looks like the 4S is still going at it. Still loading. Ah, wow, I hate when that happens. Alright, we're going to cancel that. So obviously that was unfair. I'm gonna wait for it to finish, and then I'm going to close it. And then retry this again. Alright, I'm now both logged in on both devices. Excuse me. And now we're gonna try this again. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the iPhone 5 is in the lead. Signed into Game Center. There we go on the 4S. Still waiting. There we go. So even though this is a smaller game size, it still loaded it slower than it did on the new iPhone 5. Now let's see if we can find something else here. Looks like we got Plants vs. Zombies. Now, there is no iPhone 5 optimized app for it yet. So these are the exact same sized app. So let's see how much faster the iPhone 5 will load it. 1, 2, 3. Looks like the iPhone 5 won again. Let's watch and wait for it to load. iPhone 5 is done. And it looks like I tapped it for some reason on here. But as you can see, it took longer for it to load. So let's see if I have anything else on here. I may have... no. Figured I'd have it on here, but thought I had Temple Run. I guess not. So now what I'm going to show you is, you probably get the point though. The iPhone 5 definitely beats it in every single task so far.